Hey everybody, Schneider here. I'm going to answer Ian Smith's question from a while back. Kind of got distracted doing some other things here. But it's a great question. He said, why did we start using miniatures in the show, and then what did the cast think of them? Well, thankfully we used them for a little while and then we stopped. I think they may have been more prevalent during the Coy and Vance days, which might be one of the reasons why you have the feeling about the Coy and Vance episodes that you do. So your displeasure with the Coy and Vance episodes may very well be the miniatures and have nothing whatsoever to do with Coy and Vance. Think about that. The reason why they moved over to miniatures is that they started to think that having an entire second unit to film the car, not only the stunts, but the driving around, and was too expensive. But as I've told you before, many times we would go, Tom and Kathy and I, or just Tom and I, or Boston, the cast would split off and go work on second unit to do the stuff that was out on the roadside, fight the bad guys, do all that stuff, plus the jumps. So the second unit had a lot more to do than just the jumps. But Warner Brothers didn't really understand that, or didn't really want to, and you'll find a lot of times the people that are controlling things don't really understand what it's like on the ground, in the trenches. The generals don't always know what it's like in the trenches, unless, of course, they have been there. Which brings to mind, walk a mile, don't judge someone till you walk a mile in their shoes. But they started using miniatures to save money. Here's the great irony, is that miniature cars, and they weren't that small, they were bigger than the big radio-controlled General Lee that they have, bigger than that. But miniature cars meant miniature roads, which meant miniature trees, which meant if we were jumping over a truck, it meant miniature trucks. And the miniatures wound up being so much more expensive than running a second unit that they finally went back to second unit. The miniature folks did a great job. The only thing I have two issues with doing the miniatures. Number one is that General Lee landed funny. It didn't land like everybody says, oh, I saw the springs coming up through the hood. You know, I could see the front end buckle. You could feel the energy of the General Lee landing. When they did miniatures, the General Lee landed like this. Boom, 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 boom. And people didn't like that. That's number one. Number two, as soon as they started doing miniatures, the writers started writing things that were not possible. Let me back up on that a little bit. It really is not possible to jump a car 187 feet over a train, land on the pavement, and drive away. But Al Wyatt Jr. did jump a car over a train, 187 feet, and landed. There was a human being, a stuntman, a professional, in the car. When they went to miniatures, we started jumping over semis and through culverts that were on chains and on the end of cranes, and we started doing things that couldn't be done, and the show became very cartoonish, and I think lost a lot of the credibility. So that's why we did it. That's why they did it. That's why they stopped doing it, and that's why if you ever have the opportunity to produce a television show or a movie and someone says, I know, let's do miniatures, tell them John Schneider said, no, don't do it. I'm John Schneider. Thanks for your questions. Keep asking, and I'll keep answering. Yeehaw! Bye.